All right, get things going this morning. Hope everyone is staying cool. In Arizona. Okay. All righty. Good morning, and welcome to the On Point podcast, where we help you get your financial point across. I'm your host, Dr. Joe Blake, here with the On Point podcast. And today we'll have some good information that we're going to share with you about financial intelligence and financial literacy and emotional intelligence, rather, and how to bring those two together, because we do know that we spend based on emotion, and then we back it up with logic. And so we're gonna talk about that point today. So first of all, let me go ahead and just bring my cohort on with me, my son, and my boy. He's my oldest. Okay, Joseph. Let's see, Joseph. Joe, you
I'm
there?
here. Hey, I'm here. How's it going?
Good, man. Hey, welcome to the podcast, son. How's things happening for you?
Everything's going well. Beautiful
Okay.
day out here in Georgia. Got good weather today, so
Good.
outside. Yeah.
All right. So today we're going to talk about, like I mentioned, financial intelligence, financial literacy, and emotional intelligence. First of all, what I want to do is kind of remind everyone of what we've planned for the whole year, because we're at the midway point. We talked about here how we're talking about the whole year was let it to create opportunity, and this is the Wealth Builder Blueprint. And this is something you go to our website, you can download it, and it gives you just an introduction of what we're doing for the year, how we're breaking things up into the myth, the maintenance, and the myth, the maintenance, and the mechanics of becoming financially independent, financially secure. So this piece, again, it gives you the introduction there, talks about the myths that are out there, the mechanics, and we're actually going over all those things, and then it talks about some points. And we're doing this over the whole year, but this gave you a roadmap from the beginning. So always start with the end in mind. So I gave you everything to show what we're going to talk about for the year. And so now we're in the maintenance side, where we're talking about financial intelligence, because it's important, financial literacy. We have a guest. I'm not sure she hasn't made it just yet, but this is our guest. This is her information, Dr. Karla there. She's an educational and nutritional psychologist. She's written several books for children and giving them insights into building their wealth understanding and knowledge at a young age, and then once they become adults, they're better off. Kind of like I did for my son. He told you last week how he used to read books and everything, and now he's a real estate tycoon, I call him. All right, so I wanted to finish up on last week, where I was sharing about financial literacy education and emotional connection. Because as I mentioned, people tend to buy based on emotions, and then they back it up with knowledge. And you say, "Well, Dr. Joe, what do you mean when you say based off of emotion?" Well, sometimes when we go purchase things, what is the first thing we do? We look at it, we say, "Oh man, that is cool. I like that. I like the way that looks." Some ladies say, "I like that dress." Some guys say, "I like those shoes." Now, that is how you buy. Then you say, then you back on the emotion. Oh, it's only $50. I can swing this. These are only $40. I can swing this. So you base it first of all, your liking first, and then you do knowledge, right? Like, you know, have you done something like that, son?
Yeah, a lot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's there. So integrating emotional intelligence as incorporating your into your financial ability helps you learn how to connect and manage your money with your emotions, thereby enhancing your personal relevance. So if you know you like that, and understand that we all have an element of that, be mindful of it. Some people can wait. Like the car I got is a Tesla, but I waited 2 years to get my vehicle. 2 years. I ordered it. I put a down payment on there, and I ordered it in 2006, August 2016. And you know when I got my car? August 2018.
Mm.
And do you think you can wait out your purpose? Can you wait it out? And that's where the emotional side come in. I wanted my car that day, but in 2 years, uh, and I was driving around a Jimmy truck. So just me, but man, me and that truck got along. It got along, and it just you have to. But if you want something, you desire something, you tend to wait it out. It's because you want to see what's happening, and that's how you are. What do you think, Joey? What is something that you kind of held on to before you bought it?
Um, I would probably say a house, but I just wanted to you talk about how you were waiting. It kind of reminds me of how many times like a lot of times people will wait on electronics like that, like for like a PlayStation 5 or the new iPhone that comes out.
Uh,
That's how they create value by doing that. It's because it's like a scarcity thing. So you want to be the first to have it, or like some new Jordans or something.
yeah, yeah. You want to be the first to have it. When iPad first came out, I was one of
Yeah.
them. I stand at Apple.
Uh-huh.
Get the first iPad that came out. You know,
Hmm.
but the thing is, can you delay your satisfaction in order to get what you need to get? Can you instead of just going down the most Americans I want to get it right now. I want to do it right now, and kind of get themselves kind of caught up a little bit.
Hmm.
And so that emotional connectivity can be that way, and even the learning, right? You
Yeah.
have storytelling and empathy in the communication where it gives you trust and engagement. But sometimes people they want to learn it, but they want to feel it at the same time as well. And sometimes if they don't get the instant results, they don't want to do anything. But wealth takes time to grow. Wealth takes time for it to come to fruition. Can you wait for that? Can you allow that time for that process to grow? So then the other thing is talking about enhancing your engagement and retention. What interactive activities or we're gonna have a discussion here help foster that emotional connection and sustaining your motivation and improving your retention. So what helped me wait for 2 years for my vehicle? 2 years now, because at that time my wife had a new car, my son-in-law had a new car, and so my daughter-in-law. They were living with us at that time. But they all had new cars, but I had the truck.
Hmm.
So, but knowing what I was going to receive in the end allowed me to wait 2 years. And it's hot in Phoenix, and that truck air conditioner was okay, but it wasn't the greatest. So, but I was able to maintain, and that's how what helps you uh, with that growth process. So now, let me see the next page here. This is the last one here. Uh, so the key takeaways from the last week and then this week is the impact of financial literacy, practical application, and encouragement for growth. So those elements help us really nail down the things that we need to make sure that our goals and objectives are met, be able to apply things. So now you're not worrying about scarcity. You're getting something that's going to be better for you, but you got to wait it out in order to get it. And like times like right now, things don't look too good with the what's happening with the government and everything. But it's just a moment in time, and you have to be able to just, I call it, buckle up and ride it out. So you got to buckle up and ride out what's happening, and it always works out. You know, one way or another, God works it all out for us and everything. So that's how you look at financial literacy and emotional intelligence and to combine those two together. So now I want to have a discussion about some uh, points about financial literacy. So here's a question I have: so understanding emotions and financial decisions. Can let's share an instance where emotional state influenced a final decision you made, and how did you navigate the situation? What do you learn from it? So that's up for everyone out there. So think about it, even yourselves. Okay, so think about an instance where your emotional state influenced a financial decision you made, and how did you navigate that situation, and what did you learn from it? Think about it. Okay. What are your thoughts, son?
Um, I don't know. It's kind of hard to process the emotions that you're going through when you purchase something because a lot of times you're so caught, but it's a lot of
Yeah,
emotion in it. You're so caught up in the moment, imagining what your life is going to be like once you get that item or that
yeah,
experience, and then so you kind of don't think about the long term repercussions or financial impact it's going to have on you. I can relate it to a timeshare I purchased. So I mean that's very emotional when you're there, you're on vacation. They're telling you, they're showing you all the amenities of the facility. It's really easy to get caught up in that moment, and you want a part of it. And then after you got it, then later down the line, you might, if you're not getting the experience that you thought you were going to get from it, you might have a little bit of buyer's remorse.
yeah. So you be mindful of it. I
Yeah.
think when I bought my house, we've been here for 13 years. 13 years, 12 years, yeah, about 13 years. But before I bought this home, what we did was my wife and I we just went out and looked at other homes that we liked. And we looked at different models that are out there. Okay, we want to buy over here, want to buy over there. And we attempted to buy different places, but God stopped us because things didn't work out where it should have been or where it was. And so I even made videos because I know visualization helps you learn and understand what you're going to do. But my heart was like, okay, I did a video on the different homes, a couple of different homes that I thought we want to be able to get, and um, uh, that didn't work out. But I still had those videos because I was dreaming. Sometimes when you're dreaming for what you want in the future, you got to have those things in front of you. And then the house that I have, I'm glad I waited it out because I like where it's located, things being built around and everything. Sometimes that emotional charge that you get, you gotta, like put it to the side and think about it rationally, right? So, and that's what we're talking. The next question I'm going to talk about is the emotional resilience and financial setbacks. So, financial challenges can be stressful, of course. How you employ your emotional intelligence to cope with the setbacks, like debt or investment losses. What specific strategies do you think you use to maintain a positive mindset?
Um, I know it can be very hard when you're going through or you're experiencing a financial setback. Um, you just gotta um, think about what got you there. You want to learn from that experience. What lessons can you take from it so you don't do it again, or so you can do things better? I got a basketball analogy. I'm a big Kobe fan, and Kobe was in an interview. In one of his interviews, he was just explaining how it's important to learn from your losses, and sometimes that he was looking back at some tapes, and the tapes was just going. He was reviewing like games that he lost, and why did they lose that game? And so it's important to learn from your losses so you don't keep continuing to make the same mistakes. And so that's the when you talk about financial setbacks, that's my approach to it. What can I learn from this? How can I prevent this from happening again?
All right. And now for having a positive mindset, the way I see it is like when you are in an upset position or I stated earlier with the environment going on, sometimes you have to buckle up and ride it out because we don't know that's all you can do is just, okay, things are changing, prices are changing, things are adjusting. Let's buckle up and ride it out because the economy may be at a low point, but it'll go back up again. I mean, it's a part of the process of the market, how it goes up, down, up, down, up. It's just a part of the process. Knowing that what's happening now and how you handle things now will reflect later when you have the same situation. So you got to be able to maintain, understand where you are, what you can handle financially, what you can't handle financially, and then go from there. Because sometimes you may have to cut things off or change the way you view. I haven't had cable, man, I think about 10 years. Because, for me, I didn't, cable had so many channels on there, but nothing was there. So then I started first with a Roku app and watching television things through that. Then I progressed into YouTube TV and other things. But I just didn't want to have the cable aspect of it. I wanted to be able to watch what I wanted to watch when I wanted to watch it. And so the apps and everything helped me do that. But it took a process to get to that. Because sometimes, like my dad said, I can't get up and just turn the channel. So dad can't turn the channel. So it's rough for him a little bit. But, I know at some point there may be something different in the future, but I need to adjust. But sometimes you got to sit back and learn and then adjust. Question 3, Joy. Can you see that when you read that for yourself?
Let me take a look. 1 second.
Yeah, because it's
Question: empathy and financial relationships. In your experience, how important is empathy when discussing finances with family or partners? What techniques do you recommend for having difficult financial conversations without escalating emotions?
All right. When you're married and you and your wife have different goal sets as far as saving and investing or maybe spending and everything, one of the things now I've been married for 27 years, 27 years. When we first started, I had a budget of what I could spend when I went to the stores, right? $2.
Mhm.
Now, back then I was able to get tea at Starbucks, and that was my way of paying rent when I met with clients and everything. And so $2, no more than $5. That was my limit. $5. Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. And then now that limit is a lot bigger. I buy stuff now. Like she's like, "What are you doing?" Say, "Look, that right here is what I got." But I mean, the limit we have for one another is larger. So sometimes you got to start off like that because one partner, and you do that because you want to make sure that there's peace in the home. Got to have peace. And then when you speak about the financial aspect, if you get to a point where you're not agreeing with it, or she's not agreeing with it, or there's some type of different, there's structure right there, you may have to call a timeout. Say, break, okay, timer, time for a break. And you take a break and discuss it later. So you don't get to a point where you're discussing that heated thing about finance and it just blows up. Sometimes you gotta be able to say, hey, put a time on it, time out. We'll come back and discuss this a little later. And that works. That's what I've seen work. What are you seeing work, son? You only been married a year though, so this is different.
Yeah, I was about to share that. um, so I mean, she, she um she pretty much lets me control the finances, and so it's every now and then where we discuss, like, different bills in the house that need to be taken care of, and then she might want or like to go get a few things, and I got to see whether or not it's gonna fit in the budget. But I mean, we haven't really had any like knockdown, drag out situations when it comes to finances. We kind of
You're
just,
still on your honeymoon.
yeah, yeah. I think it's a little too early to address that question from a marital standpoint. But I mean, I know it's important to be empathetic when in business in general. You just want to understand, like, when you're dealing with a customer or whatever, like, you want to be empathetic to, maybe what their budget might be, what they're comfortable with, and
Right.
meet them in the middle if you can.
Sometimes when you get hot though, you gotta do like time out. We're gonna stop right here, and we're gonna have a
uh,
discussion later.
mhm.
All right.
uh, I'll take
All
your
right.
word for it.
Uh,
I'll take your word for it.
all right. What's the next question you have, Sean?
Okay. Next question is self and spending habits. How does self awareness, a key component of emotional intelligence, play a role in understanding and changing your spending habits? Can you give an example of how you've applied this in your financial life?
Ending
All
habit.
right. Yeah, I mean, I'll start this one off. I mean, you gotta be aware of your wants and your needs. So, like, I got a sweet tooth, so I like to eat a lot. I like to eat a lot of junk food, fast food, and I know budget wise, that's not the best thing to do. If you, especially when you could prepare your meals or cook, take lunch to work. So I try to do that, because if I don't, I know on my lunch break I'm gonna hit the nearest fast food restaurant, and that's gonna add up after a while.
Yeah. It will add up one. Now,
Yeah.
what I did was last week I shared how there's basically four different types of spending patterns that people we tend to use, and what I shared was that there is a shopaholic, a
Mhm.
spendthrift, a penny pincher, and a wealth wheel approach. So those are different approaches. So if you're a shopaholic, know you're that way, and kind of you have to get a hold of it. And your spouse has to get a hold of it too. A spendthrift is sometimes I can be expensive. I'm kind of cheap. Don't do things, buy things. If it ain't in the budget, I ain't getting it. That's
Uh,
how I waited for 2 years for my car, man. Because I was like, nope, I could get one, but now I wanted the Tesla, so I waited, So, and then you get the penny pincher. That's my
uh,
wife. She don't like to spend nothing. She's like, we don't do this right here. Come on, girl, we need to get this. So, but you got to be able to share back and forth. And then
uh-huh.
the wealth wheeler, that's what we want to eventually get to at a certain point where you're doing that. And when money comes in, it automatically goes to investments. I have individual stocks, I have mutual funds, I have all those things. But you have to allow that to grow. You have to allow it to go where it needs to go, growth wise. Because if you don't give it time, you lose time, you lose effort and everything, and you end up spending your future in the present because you're not allowing your investments to grow. You're not allowing the mature things to mature, and because you want to get things now. Now my car, I've had it for 7 years, paid off, and I ain't trying to get another car right now. I'm just rolling, putting money aside because that's how I am. Some people like I have to have a new car every 4 years. No. What's your thoughts, son? What do you think?
I mean, I'm in agreement with that. I think, I mean, the car is a it can be a depreciating asset. So it's about you want to use your money strategically, make smart investments, and think about the long term and not necessarily short term.
Hmm.
I'm willing to admit I may not have the best financial discipline at the moment, but I'm working on it.
But you know where you are.
Yeah.
That's the key. To know where you are, and then
Mhm.
acknowledge it and say, "Okay, I know where I'm at," and you can do things better. See, the thing, if
Right.
you don't recognize where you are, you don't understand the process that you go through with finances. That's where you get lost.
Mhm. Yeah.
But if as long as you once you understand where you are, then you know where you can go next. But if you never look at your credit report, if you never look at your debt situation, if you never look at um, what is savings that you have, what investment you have for the future, if you have a retirement account, a IRA, 403b, 401k, you don't look at those things, that's when you're blind. You're walking around with blinders on, and you can just be 70 years old, still hustling out there to work. So you got to be mindful. Yeah,
Mm.
because man, tomorrow, your dad, I will be 59.
Mm.
I remember when I was your age, like yesterday, but not so. But
I
that's
hear
how
you.
it works. Yeah, that's how it works out. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and land this plane, son. I'm gonna share some final thoughts and about the podcast, and then we'll chat soon. So hang on, okay, son.
Okay.
All right. So thank you for everyone being here to listen and share with us. Just want to remind you that you can scan this QR code. You can get a second book that in my trilogy is Building Financial Legacy. Financial literacy was first. Financial literacy lasts a lifetime. Financial legacy lasts for generations. Then the third book is going to be coming out about a year or two from now, and which is complete the trilogy that God gave me to write. It's about finance in the Bible. I've read the Bible 10 times front to back. I'm still reading it now. I just love what the Word of God says to me about investing. I didn't bring out too many scriptures today because I wanted to be more applicable to a lot of folks that are out there. So that's the book. You want to get it. So literacy lasts a lifetime. This one is talks about legacy. You changing, sending your seed to explain your seed. You leave an inheritance to your children's children. All right. Lastly, we have make sure that the way that we grow is for everyone to know. So you like and subscribe to the channel. Like and subscribe to the channel, and the app you can download that. And I was having issues, but you can download the app as well. We have more insight and information about the mechanics of what we share, what we've done, and gain more about financial literacy in your life. Woo! Hope you guys. I'm quite sure you got some good information. We actually had 7 items to talk about, so we may finish up next week about. So this may be the third part series, but third part about financial literacy and emotional intelligence. How those two combine and push us into the right place financially. So again, this has been your host, Dr. Joe Blake, and my son Joey, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week. Remember to stay tuned, stay informed, and stay on point. See you next week.